how's your heroic race going? You coming first still? Well, I hope you are anyway. We've still got another 9 days to go, so it's nothing to go crazy about. But we're not here regarding the heroic race day. Actually, I wanted to go through the new dragons that have entered the game, which are these special plasma boys, plasma colony. And we did get this notification in game, and essentially these dragons are being released very similarly to how the recent Eternals have been released. And so we do have quests for these dragons, and if we go to this section, you'll see that it says find organic plasma matter in quests, Dragon TV, and offers to earn eternal and plasma orbs. You can also find petrified plasma matter in quests and offers to earn tons more orbs. So essentially you can get some of these special plasma matter event items, and you can also get some in Dragon TV. There will be Dragon TV between August 27th to August 28th, and before that we have tons of quests to get doing. So this relates to this collection here, the Plasma Colony collection, and in this you'll actually be able to get orbs for Colossus Eternal as well, which is pretty good. It's just free Colossus Eternal orbs, and we like free orbs for dragons. It's 60 of them, which is fine. And then we do, if you manage to get 30 of these what do they call them? Organic plasmatters. If you can get 30 of them, you'll get 100 orbs of altered plasma, which I'm assuming they're 200 orb dragons. So just like the Eternals, you'll have to do one trade with someone, and then you'll be able to summon the dragon free to play. Now, just like with the Eternals, there is this like gold petrified plasma, which gives different rewards, which would be 120 orbs of altered plasma, which is different to the one that requires 30 of the regular organic plasma. But this mainly comes down to logging in for these special quests here. You'll see Petrified Path, and we've got the new Plasma Purge quests as well. But Petrified Path, again, very similarly to how the Eternals quests have been, we have stages, and for completing each stage you will get this plasma stuff. It calls it Eternalite chest, but it's plasma now. It's not Eternalite, that's wrong. But you'll see that we have 28 stages, which means that since we need 30 of them to get this new plasma dragon, 28 isn't actually going to be enough. But there's only actually 28 days of logging in for these quests, and there is a 1-day cooldown between each, so you have to be logging in pretty much every single day at more or less the same time to get all of these. And then on top of that, you'll also have to make sure that you are watching the Dragon TV at the end of August to be able to make sure you definitely get the plasmatters that you need for the new Plasma Boy. At least 100 orbs of Plasma Boy. They did say there will be offers as well, and just like with the Eternals, they offered some of these, the Eternalites, or in this case Plasma, in offers, so I'm sure they'll come up if you are low on any and you really want this dragon. But the thing is, these dragons are really interesting because, just as it explains here, they're more so like counters to vampires mainly, or corrupted dragons, because as it states, attacking these dragons with any life-stealing skills will deal damage to the opponent instead. And since this guy is brand new and I don't have all the details, I'm not sure if this applies to every form of lifesteal in the game, but I imagine that, you know, we know that it's going to affect the vampires, but I'm wondering for things like Arcanas or things that like do multi-hits and then suck, is it also going to do that? That's something I'm not 100% sure on myself as of yet, but that could be really interesting if it counters Arcanas as well, and just other dragons that do things like that. But this could be a really cool anti-meta pick because, you know, tons of new players end up summoning vampires, so these new Plasma Boys, they could be the new player disruptor, basically. We do have Altered Plasma actually in the game, and you can see him. He's got his green I don't know, acid stuff coming up from the floor, and again, if you click on his skill, it says life stealing skills damage the opponent instead, which is pretty simple. His elements are interesting because he does have primary element primal, which is okay, it's only weak to legend, but then he does have wind, dream, and chaos. Dream is nice to have against the chaos users. Chaos is useful in general, but another wind user, poor dual perception is all that I have to say about him. But those are the new dragons that are coming into the game. I'm sure we're going to get loads more of them, just like Eternals. How good are they actually going to be in the total meta? I don't know, maybe they want to make them sort of meh, like Eternals, but Again, maybe they're going to be more of a niche pick. Now, if you do want to get all of the rewards from both Petrified Path and Plasma Purge, you require the actual dragon, and there are tons of stages. There are 30 total stages, going all the way up to stage 30, but to be able to finish off every single one of these stages, you are going to need an incredibly high-level Plasma Purge. This is detailed on Ditlep, which, you know, sometimes they have wrong info. But for instance, Petrified Path, you can get through all of these and get all of the what's it called? They call them Eternal Light chests, but they're not. But you can get all of these chest things with any dragons. There's no specific required dragons for that. However, for the other quest, the Plasma quest, you are going to have to fully empower your Plasma boy. Because you'll see that these are all of the rewards here. And if we scroll all the way to the bottom, in order to get the 120 legendary jokers, you'd actually need a level 65 altered plasma. Why 65? Normally it's 61. I don't know. But 65. So that would require, since we only have a month to do this, either tons and tons of Empower happy hours with tons and tons of Joker orbs wasted, or you're just going to have to spend tons of money. There is no way you are going to be finishing all of these tasks normally. And I mean, the other reason they've made them so difficult is because, of course, you've got the golden chest things, which the first one is on stage 5, second one on stage 10. So if we very quickly take a look at stage 5 and stage 10, just in case you happen to get the dragons, stage 5 to get this golden chest would require a level 40 altered plasma. So just if you manage to get the dragon, you will at least be able to get one golden chest, which is nice for empowerment reasons or trading reasons. Then if you wanted to get to stage 10, you would need a level 45. So of course he'd have to be empowered at that stage at least once. And again, that would mean that you could get another one of the golden chests, get some more of those orbs. So if you get at least one empowerment star on this dragon, you can get an extra 240 orbs of altered plasma. So I guess we'll see how we go. If the Eternals are anything to go by, at least getting the dragon shouldn't be too difficult, even if you're a free-to-play player. But of course, if you're pay to win and you just want to buy it, then of course it's going to be a hell of a lot easier for you. But this is the little plasma colony offer right here. You can see that we've only got the first dragon right now, but there will be a big grand collection dragon thing where you get all 4 of these to get the 5th one for free. So it's going to be very expensive, just like the Eternals from the looks of it. But if you know anything about how the Eternals were released, it's more or less the same thing. So I did want to go through that quickly. Of course, we do have a new Wizard's Hollow today as well, and this is for a big dragon. I say that because tons of people absolutely love this dragon, and this is Ascended Deity's Path. Now, is it worth spending gems on Ascended Deity even though we're in the middle of a heroic race? That is up to you. As always, Hollow is very much RNG. It is random. You cannot determine what is going to appear in each of these orbs. If you think there's any sort of pattern, nobody so far has been able to show any convincing evidence that there is any pattern to Wizard's Hollow. So if you run into a wizard really early, you just got unlucky. If you don't run into a wizard early, well, you got a bit lucky that time. I will say that the Phoenix perk chest, it's random, the rewards, so you'll probably mainly end up with 15 Joker orbs. It's not very exciting. And then the other one is just a food box, which this one gives me 999,000, so just under 1 million. But that's not really too interesting to me. The only thing that I would personally really be interested in would be getting the actual Ascended Deity Dragon on level 50. So the chances of that happening are incredibly low unless you're willing to spend up to hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of gems. I'm going to gem just once because I don't want to waste too many more, but I just want to give an example of a run that you might run into. So this is room 8. All of these rewards are terrible so far. We could die here, but we didn't. That's nice. At least we got to room 10, even if it cost us 1 reset. But again, these rewards so far, not enticing. If we had gems that had dropped, I would be more enticed to maybe keep going. But without any gem drops, not worth it. We just try again tomorrow. So that's a pretty typical Wizard's Hollow right there. And, you know, even though Ascended Deity is considered quite a nice Ascended Dragon overall, just be aware that there are other options, and while we have a heroic race going on, you probably don't want to be wasting too many gems, because of course you'd ideally be saving your gems to, you know, gem some of the heroic race battles and stuff like that. But yeah, my leaderboard so far is incredibly inactive. It's not like I was able to be really active yesterday because, you know, I was working for most of the day as usual, so I didn't really have time to log in. If we had been able to log in like pretty much on point, we should probably be on roughly lap 13 by now. And that is in basically a day's time. So in the first day of this event, being on lap 11 to lap 13 is definitely doable. So that means that you can almost get to the qualifying lap in basically a day. You'll probably end up getting to lap 15 in about 2 days for most players, I would imagine, the ones that are actively playing the event. So even though lap 15 seems scary compared to before, because before lap 15 was the lap that you actually guaranteed got the heroic, and it used to take like what, let's say 65% of the heroic race. This time it just takes like 1 to 2 days of heroic race grinding, a day and a half to 2 days roughly to get there. So that is just an example of how different this race is. The nodes are much easier to get through. They're also much cheaper to gem than before. So you should expect players to get to much higher laps than usual in this heroic race. And I know that whenever things change and things are new, it can be scary. But, you know, even if you don't win in this heroic race, as long as you can get some of the orbs for higher Cult Titan, the heroic trade essence and stuff like that, at least you're getting some decent rewards out of it. And even if you only get orbs for hot, at least then you can trade out his orbs for something decent. He's probably not going to be worth the same as the other heroic VIPs at the moment, because, you know, we currently have an event on for him and people are going to have tons of orbs for him now. But you can probably get some decent heroic trades out of this. So yeah, keep all of that in mind when you are going through the heroic marathon as well. Try not to waste too many gems if you can, and save your booster spins for any of the long battles that are coming up, like this lap's battles, lap 12 battles, that sort of thing. And continue on with your Breeding Alliance chests, because that is going to be ending relatively soon. I know that with Breeding Alliance chests, they can be a bit of a pain when you're in the middle of a heroic race, because of course you're trying to focus on doing heroic race breeding. It's really lucky for us that have unlimited time skips, but for those of you that don't have unlimited time skips, I do understand if you struggle on this breeding event chest, because, you know, the heroic race is probably far more important for you. But that is all of the new stuff for now. I have heard some leaks of some upcoming heroic race stuff and other things as well. You know, Ditlep will usually update with some of this when they hear about it in quest form. We do have some new dragons on the Ditlep website as well, such as Enchantress, Midnight, Serotonin, and you can see all the other new dragons that have been released. But yeah, we have upcoming events, of course, like we're going to have Grid Island, we're going to have a Runner Island, which we missed Runner Island this time because, you know, we've got Heroic Race on and we have Maze on currently. So I would say keep collecting all of your Maze currency, save up so that you can get your hands on Dragon Fruit if you're going for Dragon Fruit, and then, you know, we can get the Fruits of Nature collection finished and we can get our hands on Toxaberry. Depends on whether you're going for this collection, of course. Maybe you just exclusively went for the event items, which, you know, you could do that if you wanted to. Your choice. But I look forward to getting Mr. Mythical Toxaberry because he looks very delicious. But anywho, that's everything that I wanted to go through for now. So best of luck. Make sure you are logging in for all of your new plasma quests. And I guess have fun.